Hey y'all, I'm back with a scrapbook and project life process video for the Hip Kit Club for September 2016. And I'm going to be using this sketch. It's designed by Ashley Horton. And I do take several elements from it, including the main design. So I'm going through the papers at this point. I want to see what papers I want to use to map my photo. I'm going to do a very simple uh, matte on them, and I'm going to use this white background. Now, in this particular layout, I use the main kit, the embellishment kit, the Project Life kit, and the cardstock kit. And I feel like at this point, I'm picking out the florals because I know that they're going to go well with the photo. Now, the photo is in black and white, but this was when my daughter turned 1, and the theme sort of was like vintage chic tea party type thing. So I felt like those peaks and those floral papers would go perfect with this layout. So at this point, I decided to cut up some strips of paper, and my thought is, since in the sketch the embellishments are going diagonally from the top left to the bottom right, I figured that I could do strips of paper going down that way, and then I could add embellishments right on top of those strips of paper. And I just love the way that this turns out. Now, in my final photos, my the main picture, it's just like looks really lopsided, and I think it's because the board that I use to take the pictures on is like it's kind of lost its shape a little bit, and so or it's a little warped, and so it doesn't lay flat. And when your like surface doesn't lay flat when you're taking a picture, it tends to, obviously it's gonna the photo isn't gonna be, when you take it of the layout, the photo isn't going to be straight. So I decided to just roll with it and not care about that. But I feel like in this like video that the layout turned out okay. And then when I took the pictures, for some reason I just couldn't get them to work. But anyway, so still took them and posted them and everything like that. So at this point, I've put my strips down, my strips of paper down, and I thought about adding a little tab there because in the sketch there is a tab. I actually don't end up doing that because I add so much other stuff, and I'll kind of walk you through that. So the first thing I'm looking through are these Carpe Diem Simple Stories. I think the collection is Posh. Um, I'm looking through those ephemera pieces, and I've added a little floral piece, and I've also added a banner that says today. In the Dear Lizzie Saturday collection, or in our Project Life kit, we get these numbers, and I love those wood veneer numbers. And I decided that the title could simply be 1 with an exclamation mark. And then I love that tassel from the Gather collection, so I am going to add that, just not right this minute. For 2.5 seconds, I thought about adding that washi tape there, but I felt like it kind of took away from the focus that I was wanting, so I took that off. And then I'm going through that same ephemera Carpe Diem pack and looking to see what else that I want. I love those balloons, so I thought I would add those because that goes with the theme. And then I'm going to add this tassel right on top of the page and right on top of those strips of paper. So I'm going to pick out some things that I want to use, and I did, or I guess I've already done that, and I set that floral piece and that heart aside a second ago, and so I just added that right behind the photo and then added the heart right on top of the photo. And then at this point, I'm going to add a few elements from this Cute Girl collection. I'm paying really close attention to what I want. I don't want anything, because this is going to be a very soft and airy page and whimsical page, I didn't want anything with a black outline. So most of my embellishments that I chose were a little softer in terms of color. And then I also chose a bow from that Gather collection. I think those are like the standouts maybe. And then at this point, I'm going to add her initials in these gold alpha stickers. Those are also from the Gather collection by Maggie Holmes. And then I think I'm going to be pretty much done with this. So I really, really love the way that turned out. I'm going to move on to my Project Life spread at this point, and I'm only going to do the front side of week 8. So the story that I tell up in the top right-hand corner when I do my journaling, and you guys will see that here in a little bit, the story that I tell is about how we went to Cabela's with her dad, with my husband and with her dad, and we also took her 8-month pictures, and then she tried spaghetti for the first time, And then what else do we do? Oh, and I had fun with Snapchat. It was one of the first times I discovered it. I don't actually use Snapchat for like social media purposes. I just like the filters. And so I discovered it and was like having way too much fun with it. And so I saved some of those photos, and those are going to be on the next spread. So if I don't do those before next week, if I don't use those photos before next week, because sometimes I do my own Project Life spreads like off camera, or I'll add them like in a separate process video, just not using the hip kits. So if I don't use them before next week, then they may be included in next week's video. So I decided for the top card, that card that's exclusive from the Hip Kit Club says hello, and it's in kind of a gradient form. It has like pinks and purple, or pinks and blues, and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, I decided instead of I looked and looked for like alphas that I wanted to use, and I figured, because what I thought my thought process was is I was going to use the alphas on that other piece, and so I was looking. Actually, I searched for alphas. I found alphas, but I was searching for a piece of patterned paper to use underneath that, and then I thought to myself, because the numbers are included in the Project Life kit, that I could just use that card that says hello, and then I could just put the 8, and I would know that that was week 8 because it follows my other week 7. So years down the road, I should be able to figure that out, hopefully. So anyway, I am continuing with the embellishing. I'm looking back through these ephemera pieces that we got in our Project Life kit, and those are those same Posh ephemera pieces. And I have found a few different options, and I used that little paper clip, and then I also used the banner that said everyday, and then I'm going to use that heart there, and actually go back and stitch that heart, just I felt like it needed a little something. And then here I'm looking at the chipboard pieces. There was something on that card that didn't go with the photo, and so I just decided to cover it up with that chipboard arrow. And then at this point on the top card, I'm thinking I'm going to put my journaling on that card, which I do end up doing, but I move around those embellishments up there. I don't end up keeping that tag. On that bottom card, I added a chipboard heart from the Indigo Hills Pink Fresh collection, and then I also added a little arrow from the Chipboard Cute Girl collection, I believe. And then here's where I did my journaling. I did it a little different this time. I decided to cut up one of the Project Life cards and do it kind of going diagonal down the starting small and then going wider. And I really love the way that that turned out. So that is my Project Life spread, and these are the final photos of my layout and my Project Life spread. So I hope you guys enjoyed this process, and let me know if you have any questions.